Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Whew. Welcome, everybody. So excited to be here with you today. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Hi, Kiana. Nancy. We've got double Nancys here so far. Great to see both of you. I'm super excited for today. Yeah, very excited. So I am double live streaming right now into my YouTube channel. So you can watch me there or catch all my replays there. And yeah, we will see how it flows. I'm also going live in 12 hours. So wherever you are in the world and whatever that time is for you, we will be doing the Reiki like the shorter, more pure Reiki session where we dive more into just doing the Reiki, and it's a shorter session. I've been doing that weekly with some great feedback. So I'll be continuing that, and that's at a different time than I normally go live. Normally I go live now. So I am still recovering, and I'm much better. For those of you that follow me and have been with me, especially a week ago at the last Reiki live, my voice was very croaky because it was on its way out and it completely went away. And now it's back and I'm still getting better, and you can see it's much better, and I'm very grateful. So welcome, Heather. So we're gonna dive right in because I've got to leave like ASAP right at the top of the hour. Tony, hello, good evening. So I'm super excited. So I got the impulse, I think because I was listening to Michael Singer and I saw I had an opening in my schedule right now. And so I'm like, we never did finish up. How many of you were here for the last time I played the Michael Singer talk? It's been a month or 6 weeks now. And, you know, my intention was to finish that. And also, here we are finishing it now. And also, because we just finished up the book, There's Nothing Wrong with You, that was like a 6-month book study. So I'm proud to announce, excited to announce that we will be now doing a weekly Singer series. And I've done Michael Singer lives before, and I call it the Surrender Circle. And so this is all just come together, and you know, first I got the impulse, let's finish that recording we listened to. And then I just thought, why don't we just do Michael Singer every week? Because y'all know I can't ever shut up about him, which is great. And so why not? You know, Abraham Hicks says, like, follow your impulse, like, follow your guidance, all the teachers say, like, follow your bliss, your joy. So, yeah, we'll see how this flows. And so what we'll do is we will listen to his talk. So instead of it being like the book study format, which y'all have been here and seen, where it's like, you know, listen or read, then discuss, we'll just do that with these talks. He has so many amazing talks, and we'll just flow. And we'll do this until something else happens. So this is going to be amazing. So don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. Give a donation if you'd like. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check out my website, all that good stuff. Do I see Anne here? I see what might look like Anne in their profile pic, but it's too small for me to see up close. So Heather and Nancy were here for the singer talk. Yay, Annie. Trisha, welcome. So glad you're here. So the first time I did this talk, like this live, like I said, like 6 weeks ago, it was because this talk that I listened to, and I've been listening to him for a couple years, and so who all doesn't know Michael Singer? Let's just backtrack to that. He has 3 books. And I had read 2 of them already, but like a few years ago, my friend sent me one of his talks, and his talks were just like next level. It's like a whole different world from reading to listening. It's the same information and also it's different. So I have been, obsessed with listening to him and doing my best to implement his teaching since then. So he has so many amazing talks. And so when I heard this one, a few weeks ago, I was like, oh my gosh, it just was mind blowing. I'm like, I've got to share this. And I like immediately set up a live stream, like so excited to share this recording. We got through about half of it, and then here we are now. So we're going to restart that one because it's been a long while. And these are his talks you can hear over and over again anyway. Heather, yes, I love Eckhart as well. One of my favorite, like one of my Bibles is A New Earth. So yeah, I've gone through my Eckhart phase. Now I'm in a Singer phase that's been here for a long while now. So, and if you're a client of mine with life coaching, you've heard me talk about it. If you've been in here, I talk about them all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to this talk. If you want the link to the talk, send me a private message. I'm not able to share the link in here. It will delete it. So send me a private message if you want the audio link to the talk I'm playing. And we're just going to slow way down with this. Like last time I was like, I had this vision to like listen to this whole talk in like 2 parts, and there's so much here, just like the books. Like right now, many of y'all have been in my Conversations with God. We've been doing this for about 6 months. This is not something to rush through, and neither is the Singer stuff. So this is going to be part of a longer series. And I may consider, I have done like a live masterclass, you could say, or like a live gathering outside of here with Michael Singer about a year ago. Not with him, but about his teachings. So a number of you were there for that. So that's an idea I'm also playing with, so we can have a discussion. And and we're starting here right now. So, but if that's something you would be interested in, is meeting on video, for some, weekly, monthly discussion, send me a private message as well. Then when you send me a message through here, then we're connected, and then we can stay connected. Please also join my group, Natalie's Healing Circle. Listen to my meditations here. I'm uploading new ones. I've got a new premium track for sleep, so listen to that if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more to come. So we're going to dive in. And before we do, I just want to pause again and see, make sure, if you don't know who I'm talking about, if you don't know anything about this, it doesn't matter. And also, I'll just pause for, if anyone has a question before we begin about anything. One thing I am excited about offering is spiritual life coaching, which is what I do, that is bringing in and grounding in the themes of Michael Singer. Because life coaching is about mindset, it's about, support, it's about clarity, it's about insight, it's about reaching your goals, creating a vision, taking steps in action towards that, which could be, outer goals, inner goals. And yeah, that's also been an idea that has come up of having coaching be centered around grounding back into his teachings as the foundation for the mindset piece, which I already do that in a way, but I'm excited to have that be the intention. So if you love Singer, if you want to bring more of this, his teachings into your life in a real way where you get support and accountability, yeah, reach out, send me a message. We can have a conversation, see if we'd be a good fit for that together. So, hi, Moon. Yeah, so the talks that he has that I'm referencing are from his place in Florida. So and if you read his book, The Surrender Experiment, his memoir, he tells how this place in Florida has come about. It's an amazing story on its own. But yeah, he lives and teaches out of what he calls the Temple of the Universe. So a lot of his talks are, he gives weekly talks there, if not more than once a week, and they upload those onto his site, and many people pull them out and share them on YouTube. And that's where this talk has come from. So yeah, and you can visit his place and all of that. Hi, J.E. This one is being double live streamed and will be available as a replay in my channel outside of here. So yes, you can catch it if you miss it, if you want to revisit it. So let's dive in. And I really invite you to be present with this material, just like Conversations with God. And, it's dense, and really for it to sink in but just the invitation is give it your full focus, because this is important, because it's your life and it's your peace and it's your freedom and it's your happiness and it's your joy. So we're just gonna, like I do with the book studies that I've done and do, we're just gonna listen until I feel like I've got to say something because it's so freaking amazing. Whatever, comment on it. If you have a question, if you have a comment, please share in the comments, because that's a dynamic part of this as well. And also to receive the transmission, basically. So yeah, Surrender Experiment is also great. All right, so this talk is called Give Up on the Old Way. And again, I think the person who uploaded the video and created it from his talks named it that themselves. I like it. It's a perfect title. And again, if you want this link, send me a private message. Let me know about the volume as well, if it's okay or not.
There comes a time in your path, in your growth, in your life, where all it's about is freedom. You will reach the point where you understand nothing will ever feed your soul except the soul itself. There is nothing in this world, there is no one in this world that will ever give you what you're looking for. And that's why you have to keep looking. It's really simple. You know, you can talk about it, analyze it, write books, but it's very simple. You're not okay in there. You know what it means to be okay? Those rare moments when the sun is setting and your mind shuts up and there is not a thought in your mind and you just melt into the beauty of what you're seeing. That's what it means to be okay. How do I know? There's no one in there complaining. There's no one in there figuring out what to do. There's no one in there doing anything. What happened to them? They're okay. They're okay. You know, that's what happens. A baby cries because they're hungry. How do you know that they're got fed? They stop crying. It's very simple stuff. It's not hard. Inside, you're crying. You don't realize it. You're always crying. You cry through the voice of your mind. That is your heart crying. So the voice of your crying sounds like this. What will I do? Oh my God. If I ask her out, she might come, but if she doesn't, I'll be so embarrassed. I don't know. That's your voice of your crying. That's what it is. You're not okay. So the mind is crying out, make me okay. I need something. I'm afraid of something. Something's not right. I need to fix it. I need someone to help me. I need my finances fixed. I need this. I need that. I just am not okay, and I need to be fed. I need to get taken care of. I need to change things. I need to somehow get things in a way that I'm okay. Never happens. Never will happen. Has never ever happened to anyone. Not the richest person. Not the most beautiful, handsome person. Not the most popular person. Not the most powerful person. None of them. You cannot feed your soul from out here. It doesn't make it back there.
Okay, I'm going to pause because already bombs were dropped. Hi, Britt. I was just thinking about you. Glad you're here. I love what he just said. You're not okay, which he says that all the time. And it's true. How many of you can relate to not being okay besides me? The heart's not okay. So what did he say? The mind is like the heart is crying, and like whatever the mind says is the expression of the heart crying, something like that. Hey, Amy. Yeah. So we're not okay, and we're never okay. In here, in the heart, in the energy of the heart. So then the heart goes to the mind and says, I'm not okay, tell me what to do. So then the mind is looking outside, trying to find the thing that's going to fix the heart from not being okay. Hey, Timothy. Heather, thanks for sharing that. As a recovered alcoholic and addict, I can definitely relate, and I know there's others in here in recovery as well. Yeah. What both connects, Timothy? What do you mean? So, one of my mantras that I use for myself and I give clients that I work with is like this idea of like, I'm not okay. Can I be okay that I'm not okay? And that turns it back inward into the heart, and then the heart relaxes. It really works if you really feel into it. Why are the heart and mind connected? That's a great question. Well, actually, he talks about this. It might not be in this talk, but like the heart, it just feels. That's all it does. So then it goes to the mind because of the way the mind works. They work differently. So that's why, would be my simple answer. So let's continue. Hi, Nick. Yeah, and he has many talks. I mean, his talks are all very similarly themed, and they say the same thing in different ways, which is good because our brains need that over and over and over and over and over reminders. He said in the beginning, the soul is crying. I think he said in the beginning of this talk. Okay.
It doesn't work. The only thing you can feed from out here is your mind. And it's real easy to see that. The reason is, when the soul is not okay, which you feel through your heart, it's really your deep inner being lost, expresses itself through the heart. When that is not okay, it turns to the mind to find out what to do. How would it know what to do? It's just a feeling. A feeling doesn't know anything. Like, feelings are helpless. That's what happens when you fall into your emotion. You become helpless, don't you? The mind, on the other hand, it has a shot at it. It's got reason, logic, past experiences. It's seen images of what it might look like. It can emulate minds. It can analyze a darn thing and come up with something. Okay? Mine doesn't have to lie there being jealous, or lie there being afraid, or lie there, oh. But that's all the heart can do. The heart wouldn't know. What will the heart know what to do? It doesn't know what to do. That's why it goes to the mind. Where do you go when your heart hurts? Where do you go if you're low? To your mind. Why? So the mind can figure out what to do about it. Well, you should move to a place where there's more people, or you could do this kind of thing. It just comes up with stuff. Try something different. Buy a new car. Change your clothes. Do your hair. Whatever. Anything. Everything. That is the mind. Because the mind has the ability to think and try things on and analyze and so on, that is where the discontentment goes. Your mind is the voice of your heart's discontentment.
Your mind is the voice of your heart's discontentment. And Timothy, he just directly answered your question. Did that help? So he says the soul is lost. The soul is hurting. We feel that in our heart as feelings and emotions. The heart can only feel. It wants to solve the problem. It goes to the logical mind to try and figure out how to solve the problem of the heart hurting. And it's always about looking outside. Something outside needs to happen or not happen, or stop happening or start happening, or happen differently. Hey, Angela. Hi, Samia. Ooh, love that. So, Samia, you are in the right place, because he's going to say this later, but what's required if you want to, heal ourselves? Ultimately, we're not broken. We don't need fixed. We don't need healed, because we're, perfection in our truest essence, in our soul. And also, I get what you're saying. So he says that, yeah, it's a commitment. It's your biggest commitment. So he'll talk about that later. We might not get to it today, but we'll get there. So, yeah. Who else is suffering here? Who else feels an urgency to be done with suffering? Yeah. Recently, I've been creating great suffering for myself. Oh my gosh, Angela. Wow. They will not be suffering soon. Sophia. Yeah, I can imagine. And that's a different sort of suffering. And suffering is grace. Suffering is here to, it's pointing the way of what's in the way from our liberation, our freedom, our peace. You feel sorry, Angela? Okay. I'm glad you're here. So we will continue.
Which mind I'm talking about, not the 2 plus 2. That's a calculator. That one's okay. All right? Your personal mind. The one that's thinking about your life, the one that's thinking about what you need, the one that's thinking about what you like, the one that's thinking about what you don't like, all of that. Your mind is the voice of your heart and soul's discontentment, crying out. Because of that, and because the only thing the mind knows anything about is what came in through its senses, that's the fuel, the fodder that it has to work with. When you go to it and you say, what should I do? It tries to see what experiences it's had. It's trying to see what other experiences other people have told it. All the stuff that came in through the senses got stored in the mind. They become the data. And then the mind plays with it and tries to come up with something that says, if this will happen, then you'll be okay. Doesn't it say that? If you just meet the right person, if you just change the job, if you just lose some weight, if you just get some body sculpting, if you just get to go to Europe, you've never been, that will do it for sure. If you have another baby, or maybe even the first baby, okay? If people would just respect you more, if you could just get people to take you seriously, if we could just do this, then it would all be okay. That is what it's saying in there. If you just didn't have to do this, if this problem would just go away, then I'd be okay. That's what everything is saying. That proves what I'm saying. You're not okay. That's why everything is saying is, if this would happen, then I'd be okay. So the underlying discontentment goes to the mind. The mind uses the data it's received from the outside. So of course the mind's going to talk about the outside. That's the only thing it knows. And so it comes up with solutions, thinks are solutions, to what needs to change outside, what needs to happen outside. People, places, things, situations, future, past, anything. What needs to change so that you're okay? It's that simple. That's all the mind ever talks about. What needs to change so that I'm okay?
So what he's talking about is it's a whole system. It's a whole paradigm. It's not about the actual specific topic. You can put whatever you want in the blank, fill in the blank, right? If this happened, if this didn't happen, then I'd be okay. Do y'all relate to that? Do you identify with that? Is there anyone who doesn't follow and understand that? Oh, Angela, no, you weren't. Nothing is off topic here. No worry, nothing to apologize for. So, yeah. Yeah. We all have a list of things. And it doesn't mean like, and he talks about this too, you don't need to go live in a cave and renounce everything. So there's layers to this whole topic and subject. Yeah. So, continuing.
Problem is, since the mind in truth is dealing with itself outside, it created these conditions and now it's looking for them. And so it's out there in this world dancing with itself. That has nothing to do with the heart. It doesn't. That's why so many things happen outside and they don't really fix anything. It just comes up with another thing. Now you met somebody, God, I hope he keeps his job. I don't know, they're a deadbeat for something goes on. I hope he likes the kids, or I hope she wants to have kids. I mean, I know I just said I wanted somebody. I forgot to ask for kids. I want to have kids. I'm serious. But I hope she don't want kids. I never really want to have kids. I just want to have a relationship. It's hard to find somebody who wants a serious relationship and not have kids. Like, this is where it goes. This is what it is. When you reach the point where you don't see it as this particular incident, oh yeah, it didn't work, I thought the new car would do it, yeah, you're right, Mick, it just didn't do it, or, you know, just another relationship and that got there, or a little more finances, or whatever it is, or somebody saying they're sorry, or someone leaving you alone that was bothering you, or whatever it is, right? It doesn't do it, and you say, well, that, okay, I see, you're right, that didn't do it. No, that's not good enough. You reach the point eventually, I will not put a time frame on it, that's up to you. You reach the point eventually where you get it. It's not going to do it. But the I is capital. It means the process of the heart going to the mind using the data that it collected through the senses to put together potential solutions, and then going out there to try and make the world be that way. That's what's not going to work. Not any one particular thing. Not only one particular aspect of it, all of it, even the stuff you haven't even tried yet. The process doesn't work. You catch on. At that point, an amazing thing happens. You look and you realize that whole thing never worked. And it never is going to work. But here I am. What am I going to do? Because I'm not okay. And you realize, I have to get out. I have to get away from the part of me that's not okay. This is the awakening of the soul, separating itself, extricating itself from the problems of the human heart. What happens when you're not so busy pushing out to try to make the solution work, which will never work. Come on, enough. How many times are you going to beat your head against the wall before you find out it doesn't help? So then what are you going to do? You realize eventually that you are the consciousness that is aware of and watching the problems of your heart. And your only way out is to pull back behind them, not to go out there and try to solve them. There is no solution to them. Your grace is not that God figures out a way to solve the problems of why you're not okay. The grace is that you're not your problems. You are the one that's experiencing your problem. No matter what problem you're having, you're the one who's having it. You're not it. You're the witness, the consciousness, the awareness of being that is aware that this discomfort, this disturbance, this not okayness is going on inside of you. You will reach a point where instead of the recognition of these problems, of this not okayness, pushing you up into the mind and then out into the world, it pushes you back into the self. Why would you want to go down there? Why would you want to involve yourself in something that there is no solution to the way you've been doing it? When in truth you can realize that there is a complete solution of the problem. Liberation.
Y'all following? So this is where he's saying it's the whole system and it's the whole process. It's not about the specifics. Yep, Heather. I mean, it's normal, it's common. And so what he was identifying is the problem. We're not okay. We go outside to try and make ourselves okay, and it never works. I love his examples. They're so funny. He's like, oh, I need a relationship. And then, oh, but what if they don't want kids? Like, but it's true. It's like we get what we think we want, and then we have a problem with that thing, or we need something else. So he's just starting to talk about the solution. We've got to stop going outside. And he started talking about the witness and the observer. That we are not our problems. We are the consciousness that is experiencing ourselves as one having problems. We notice our heart hurts. We notice our mind goes into survival or whatever. Hey, Ginger. Hey, Jessica. So, everyone following, any questions or comments? Is this helpful? Does this resonate? Do you think it's bullshit? Do you think it's gospel? To me, it's the answer to everything, and that's why I'm obsessed with it. And also, for me, as a, recovered alcoholic and drug addict, I've also quit smoking, I've also quit sugar. Like, what I see it as, like, one way to look at it is it's like an addiction to needing things to be fixed, an addiction to thinking and all of that. What it requires is hitting a bottom. And that's why when Samia said earlier, feeling an utter urgency to heal, that excited me, because it sounds like they might be hitting a bottom or close to it. It requires full commitment and wanting to change. Feeling fear coming up. Yeah. Fear is the resistance. And then being with that, and then surrendering to that. Underneath the fear is bliss. I know, because I've been there. Yeah, Kate, it's a point of view for sure. Hi, Louise. So, where I find myself, honestly, like, I love these messages. I immerse myself in it. And yet, when I'm out in the world, when I'm with my thoughts, when it comes up, when the suffering is here, and when the mind goes to wanting to find something externally, I don't have the 100% willingness to do this as much as what it requires, which is a moment by moment choice. Because it's a reconditioning and a repatterning. It's a paradigm shift, and he says that later in the talk. I don't have the willingness at this moment. So guess what? More suffering. And honestly, like, there's a lot of suffering. And I think, too, it's about, like, our awareness about the suffering. I think the more we evolve, the more we awaken, the more aware we are, then we see what's always been there. And then it becomes less tolerable for me. This is talk about myself, like less tolerable because I see it so clearly, and yet I continue to sit in it. You know, honestly, I don't know if it'll happen in this lifetime, but I look at how far I've come. You know, the question, you know, I've come from a 12-step background, and my last sponsor, when we went through the 12 steps and we were in the amends process, I was very, very willing to do my last set of steps and amends. I had 150 amends. I was so clear and thorough and just so willing. I was willing at that point. But the you know, the few that maybe I was like, I'm not willing to do those amends, he was like, how free do you want to be? He asked me that question, and I asked that to people that I've worked with. Oh, well, I'm not going to make amends. Okay. How free do you want to be? So this is the same thing here with this old system. How free do you want to be? Then that means the next time your mother-in-law calls, or your boss does this or that, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or your mom yells at you, or you get angry, how free do you want to be? Thanks, Heather. Samia, I mean, I'm being really honest when I say that for my own self. If it's a choice, and he'll say that in this talk further on too. I've heard this like 4 or 5 times now. I know it a bit. Just because I'm arguing for my suffering doesn't mean anyone else has to. So if it's in this lifetime for you, that's on you. I want it to be, but if I'm being 100% honest, I don't know if I have the utter willingness at this moment. It might come in the next moment. It's just like when I quit drinking, when I hit a bottom with my alcoholism and drug addiction. I mean, and I didn't know at that moment that like I'm going to be quitting for 25 years and the rest of my life, hopefully, but there wasn't anything left. There wasn't any more fight in me to try and do it my way. That's what was there. That's what was present when I got clean and sober. I was at a point where I was so utterly broken from my own doings that I was willing to do anything. I really was, because my way, I was so done. It did not work. I didn't care anymore. I didn't care what it would take. So I think that's what's missing, just personally, as I'm talking through this for me now. There's still some fight left in me, or there's still some when I look at, if I could have this or that, maybe it'll work to end the suffering. I still feel like that, even though I know conceptually it's not true, there's still a part that thinks when this happens, when I get this, or when this changes, it'll fix something inside. When I got sober, I knew like I was done. Hi, Blossom Violet. Thanks, Amia. Yeah, and it's a surrender. I surrendered at that time. And it was a moment by moment surrender as well, because I had horrible alcohol cravings for 30 days that were horrible. It was a moment by moment choice and surrender. Just don't pick up, just don't drink no matter what. Like, just for today, just for this moment. And that's what it gets to be with this too, with our suffering, with us thinking there's going to be something outside that's going to be a solution. You know, honestly, I feel like this would be the deepest addiction or whatever. I don't want to, have to call it that, but that paradigm does fit, that idea, that concept. That's why I call like this space and what we're up to the surrender circle, and like, because surrender, yeah, it's the answer. So if you're new to me, don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. Give a donation if you'd like. I'm double live streaming on my YouTube now, so follow me there. Also Facebook and Instagram. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I have different services and offerings you can check out. Spiritual life coaching, energy healing. Bring your friends. I know some of you have brought friends before, and I always appreciate that. It means a lot. Yeah, totally. It's about not controlling, actually. It's about releasing control. It doesn't mean we don't take action. So that's a distinction Singer makes. And I read a quote from his book, Surrender Experiment, often because it clarifies that. I've about memorized the quote. I just read it yesterday to somebody. He says, by this time in my journey, I could see that the practice of surrender involved two very distinct steps. The first one is letting go of any personal reactions of like and dislike that form inside the mind and heart. And second, with that resultant sense of clarity, I look to see what is being asked by the moment unfolding in front of me. What would I be doing if I wasn't being influenced by like or dislike? So that's how it works. You surrender your preference to what needs to be happening outside, and then once you have surrendered that, then you look to see, when you're not guided by your preferences. He says, my life went in a very different direction when I wasn't taking action based on following my preferences. Thank you, Darren and Samia, for the donations. You're welcome, Nick. So we were going to end for today because I have to go somewhere directly. So we're going to do this every week. Please follow me so you get notified of that when these are going to be set up. I will do my best to do it at the same time every week. That's what I normally do. Stay tuned for that. And also there will be replays 99% of the time, unless I have to be streaming on my phone, which has happened like twice in a year. And it happened last week. But yeah, the replays will be on my YouTube, either in the live section or uploaded as a video, depending on if I'm double streaming or screen recording and then uploading. you can ask me if you want the info on all that. Yes. You know, a question I invite you to take with you, if you're up for playing and experimenting with interfacing with life in a different way, is how important is it? How important is it if somebody cuts you off in traffic? If it's raining when you wish it was sunny? And how free do you want to be? How free do you want to be? So, next time we will continue listening to this specific talk. Again, if you want the link to it, send me a message. I also may create a PDF with like a synopsis of the main points of this talk. If that's interesting to you, let me know, send me a message. I'll put you on the list if and when I create that. I need to consider about that, but that would be cool, wouldn't it? For you to have like a 1-page summary. So, who all is in on joining Surrender Circle? Is this helpful? Great. And join my group here in Insight Time or Natalie's Healing Circle. And I communicate updates in there often and share news. So don't forget to join there as well. I will see you all in 12 hours if you would like to receive Reiki. I will see you then. And if not, I will see you for Saturday Night Live this weekend. Thank you all so much. Much love. Thank you. Bye-bye.